Hey, where you guys been? I haven't seen you in almost a week. Anyway, I've been really busy here in the shop. That and doctor appointments, you know, the old guy stuff. So let me catch you up real quick. Working on a few things. Got the headlight brackets made. I got to cut them and lean them. I didn't know that the stock Model A headlight bar was angled. I made these straight. So we're going to do a little cutting, a little adding. Not a problem. We can fix that. But anyway, it's got a face now. Also finished up the radiator supports. Got those nice and solid. I moved it forward a little bit because I moved the engine forward. So we needed the room. I've got the fan off over here. I was putting on the, well, let me just show you. I got the fan mounted to an aluminum panel that bolts to the radiator, kind of a shroud, if you will. So I had, you know, those Mickey Mouse little tabs on there. Anyway, I got this recovery tank, so I wanted to get it mounted. So it's nice and solid. I haven't put it back on yet. Several projects going on all at once here. Making a new battery box. I had a Group 27 in the car, and I had to put it way back, and it made too long of a battery cable in. And you guys that know about electricity, the longer the run, the more draw there is, more resistance. No bueno. Anyway, I had to make a concession. I went with a smaller battery, and it's a GM style battery with a side post because it's going under the seat and not a lot of clearance there, so that's concession. This battery is not made by Delco or General Motors. It's an aftermarket, but it's a GM design. Okay, I admit it. I did a little redesign on the Brake Master cylinder mount. As I don't know if you remember, but I had the tab coming off the bottom here, and I wasn't sure about the angle. I had to move the whole thing over to clear the steering column, and it just wasn't working out. I don't like lots of washers and spacers and all that crap. So I cut it off the bottom, and I made this piece right here that lines up with that. So once I get my angle set, I'll put a little tack weld on there, take it out, get it straight, and finish the weld. I had to shorten this up quite a bit because it was up about here, and it was interfering with where the steering box mounts. So anyway, that's that. Another project almost done. You can see the body's off yet again. That's probably 30 times now, off and on. This is probably one of the best investments I ever made, was this engine hoist. Probably about the third one I've owned, but it sure does do the job when you need it. My plan is to fill in the dash, make it nice and flat. There's original holes in there where stuff went. So I kind of made a little pattern where my gauges are going to go. I've got a GPS speedometer that has all kinds of stuff in it. It's also got an 8 grand tack. This engine's never going to see 8 grand, or those pistons are going to be in orbit. Anyway, it got the turn signal indicator lights, all that stuff, real high zoot stuff. So that's about where it's going to go. As you can also see, I've got the windshield stanchions back on here for measurement, because I'll show you what. As you guys know, I hit just about every swap meet in the area. Sorry for the messed up bench, I'm busy. So I couldn't find a lower windshield frame to save my life. I found the last meet I went to was specifically a Model T meet up in Auburn, California. Right about an hour's drive from here. Seems like everything's an hour's drive. We live out in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, I couldn't find one. So I started looking online, and Speedway is no longer going to carry those. So they had this at little more than half price off. So I jumped on the internet there and ordered it really quick, and here it is. So now I got to make stuff fit. And the good news is the guy next door, the baitcaster guy, was also a glazer. So he's offered to get a piece of glass and cut it for me. So that problem's solved. As I've said before, I love making patterns. I save all the Pepsi boxes, cereal boxes, all that kind of stuff, because it's stiff enough, it makes a good pattern, and it's not so heavy as cardboard to work with. That's going to be my rear tail light bracket and license plate holder. I've already got my rear tail lights. They're Model A reproduction, but they're Model A style. Anyway, so I turn that into this. That's the steering column drop. And I got to get the body back on and get everything in exact position before I get that mounted up and tack weld it. What else going on? Oh, there's my body mounts. And that's a Hurst ratchet shifter. That's going to go in there somehow. There's the steering wheel. All my brake lines ready to go. Carburetor under there. Nice Holley 750. That'll eat up some gas. Still working on the gas tank mounts. I need to make a stand for that bead roller. And I'm testing out some paint colors over here. That's a nice burgundy. I kind of like that color. So I got most of the sheet metal and all the parts I need to finish everything up. I got 16 gauge for the back lower of the body. I got, what else I got? I got 18 gauge for the floor. I got 14 gauge, finish off the firewall, and various other pieces of metal and wood for patterns. And I had to extend my seat frame a little bit because unfortunately my butt's bigger than what I had made. So at the swap meet a week ago, 2 days ago, up in Auburn, I couldn't find anything usable. So on the way out, I spied this, stopped dead in my tracks, 1926-27 Model T tailgate, and the lady said it was a Model A, so I corrected her. The Model A, this strap here where it folds over, it went all the way up here to about right there, because they determined the tailgates weren't strong enough. So anyway, they just doubled that strap. Anyway, it's got some whoopie-doos in it. Not a problem. I'll lay it on something flat, drive over it. That'll flatten it out. Got lots of body hammers. And I got a buddy with a press. We'll get it straight. Had to reshape the transmission dipstick tube. Man, it went all the way like out here, and it was laying over here. And so anyway, I wanted it to come really close to the bell housing. You can't see it from here, but there's like 1/8 of an inch clearance. Made a bracket, bolted it on. Had a heck of a time getting the S-bend out of it. So what I did was I got it good and hot, and I had a piece of 5/8 round stock. I put that in the vise. I saved the bottom curve that I wanted, and I just drove the rod into it, and it's nice and straight now. Well, straight enough the dipstick will go in without having to force it. So then I thought, well, as long as I got the body off and things going here, I'm going to start working on the transmission cooler lines. Got eight connectors and plenty of length. So we'll make some brackets and we'll get those put up there real nice. Also working on the alternator bracket. I had to come out a little bit, space it away from the block, but not too far because it just barely clears the back of the alternator. Anyway, I got a few little alignment issues, not a problem. We'll hog some holes. Then I'll take a flat washer once I get it right there, and I'll tack the washer, and that'll make the hole where it's supposed to be. I went with this Gilmer drive belt. I like them, other than the fact they just look cool. Because they don't have to be very tight. Saves the bearings on your water pump and your alternator. And they only need to be tight enough where you can take the longest part of the belt, kind of hard to see here, and turn it like 90 degrees. If you can turn it 90 degrees, it's just right. More than that, too loose. If you can't get 90 degrees, it's too tight. So the adjustment on those is real easy. They last forever. It's very similar to a blower belt. That's how they work. They don't need to be tight. That's why a lot of times in the older front engine cars, you used to see the belts about half track just go zinging right off, and they'd fly for like a quarter mile into the stands. Unfortunately, they're heavy. If you got hit by one, it hurt. So that little square on the floor right there under the seat is approximately where the battery's going to go. So I'm going to cut that hole because it's most accessible right there. I'll just drill the 4 corners. Then I'll run a tape from the frame and come out over there. And that's a body mount right there. So I need to come behind that and then in front of it. So once I drill those holes and get that cut out, I'll measure how far out from the frame it's got to come, because it's not going to bolt or weld right to the frame. So we'll get that measured out, get that in, and we're getting really close to tearing the whole car down. And we're going to, taper the front frame rails. You can see the white line where they're going to get tapered, and finish welding everything, because it's, like I've said 100 times before, it's just tack welded. That's what you do when you're mocking stuff up. You get a tack weld on there good enough to hold it where it goes, and if you need to make any changes, it's easy enough to cut off, which I've done a bunch of times on this car. So anyway, that's about all that's going on. We're probably a few weeks from tearing it down, but then we're going on vacation again. The wife and I are heading out on another cruise. Told the kids we're going on vacation. They said, from what? From you and doctors and all that. That's what. So anyway. So that's about it for today. Just wanted to catch all y'all up on all y'all. That's a term we learned in the South. When we first retired, we moved to North Carolina because we loved NASCAR. We were flying out there all the time anyway, so kids weren't going to have any kids, so we decided, okay, let's just move to North Carolina. Loved it there. Then all of a sudden we had 2 grandsons, one here in California and the other one up in Oregon. And we were flying out 5 and 6 times a year and, spending time visiting them. So we decided, screw it, let's just move back. So we did. And now they're in their late teens, and we're the last people in the world they want to hang out with. But, I think back about when I was in my teens, that's pretty much how I was. Although I hung out with my grandparents a lot because they let me use their garage in the backyard to build my first Roadster when I was 14 years old. It was a 28 Model A. Well, I've told you this story before. I won't bore you again. Anyway, that's about all that's going on now. I still got more nuts to sort out. I've done probably 7/8 of them. Anyway, that's about it. So get off your butt, go design something, build something, drive something, buy a hot rod, whatever. Do something constructive with your time. See you next time.